This week in Jamaica now.
We talk about it, HR is present, and we talk about it and nothing is being done. They're empty promises.
Hotel strike workers at the Royalton Negril in Jamaica walk off the job over alleged poor working conditions. Natl Icon or National Hero renewed debate about how Jamaica should honour Louise, Bennett and Bob Marley. Mass shooting at football match in Jamaica's capital Kingston claims 5 lives. And costly blunder. A court has ordered the government to pay $472 million to a company that got a contract in 1998 for $49 million. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. The general manager of Royalton Negril was suspended on Wednesday, 2 days after over 200 workers protested alleged poor working conditions at the luxury hotel in Westmoreland.
We talk about it, HR is present, and we talk about it and nothing is being done. They're empty promises.
The news follows a meeting on Wednesday involving Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and other government officials, the workers and the hotel management. Senior executives from the hotel's operators flew in from Spain on Monday night to take charge of the situation. The hotel has announced that the general manager, who took up the post 2 months ago, has been suspended. Workers' salary packages are to be increased and an offer made for better meals at the workers' canteen. The Heroes' Day strike action impacted operations at the property, with some visitors complaining about the absence of services. Some guests also joined the protesters. Along with claiming poor treatment by the management and low wages, the protesters also called for the removal of the general manager, who they said has been insensitive to their plight. Tourism is a major employer and foreign exchange earner for Jamaica. Officials fear discontent could spread throughout the industry as the cashy winter tourist season approaches. 5 men were shot and killed on Heroes' Day, October 21 in Pleasant Heights in Rockfort, East Kingston, the latest episode of a mass shooting in Jamaica. Head of the Kingston Eastern Police, Superintendent Tommy Lee Chambers, says the men were among residents at a football match in the community formerly called Warika Hills. The deceased men have been identified as 51-year-old Artavia Mendez Austin and his son, 21-year-old Okiro, 29-year-old Odain Josephs, otherwise called Bones, and Rosrick Tenille Thomas. The 5th man remains unidentified. 2 persons were injured in the attack. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who led a tour of the community on Tuesday, said the police will go after the attackers.
There is never a time like this time that the community should come out. Everyone in this community should see this killing as an affront, but also as a threat to them. The police will act in a very judicious and fair manner and act with restraint and respectful of the citizens, and we urge the citizens to cooperate with the police. But make no mistake, once we have identified who the criminals are, we will go after them aggressively and intensely, but justly and fairly, and we will bring them to justice.
Superintendent Chambers said one of the suspects linked to the shooting, Jordan Green, was killed in an alleged shootout with the police on Tuesday. She said the attack has shattered at least a year of peace in the community that has a history of gang violence. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Mark Golding have taken divergent approaches in their calls to honour 2 Jamaican greats, Louise Bennett and Bob Marley. Mr. Holness proposes creating a new national honour, the Order of Natl Icon, for the 2 legends, while Mr. Golding is advocating for Marley to be elevated to the country's highest honour, National Hero. The 2 addressed the issue in their messages to mark National Heroes' Day on October 21.
Both Miss Lou and Bob Marley stand as towering figures in the preservation and global elevation of Jamaica's cultural heritage. Miss Lou's work in promoting Jamaican patois and folk traditions has cemented her as a pioneer of our national identity, while Bob Marley's music transcended borders, making him an international ambassador of reggae and a symbol of resistance to oppression and a beacon of unity and love. Their impact on the world stage is immeasurable. And this recognition honors not only their individual legacies, but also the indomitable spirit of Jamaica.
I continue to call for Robert Nesta Marley, who more than any other has made our music an inspirational force of liberation, justice and equality for all the peoples of the world, to be recognized as the national hero he is. His greatness is embraced in all corners of the earth. He gave us the enduring power of one love, which is drawn on by the very theme of National Heroes Day 2024. Time come for his status as a hero to be formalized here at home.
Earlier this year, Culture Minister Olivia Grange said the government was considering a proposal by a 2009 committee for the creation of the Order of Jamaican Heritage as the second highest national honour. The Prime Minister now says the preliminary work has been completed and the government will be moving forward with the legal process to introduce the Order of National Icon. Both Bob Marley and Miss Lou are members of the Order of Merit, the third highest honour. The second highest Order of the Nation is reserved for Governors General and Prime Ministers. Meanwhile, respected political scientist and Professor Emeritus of the University of the West Indies, Rupert Louise, says the two Jamaicans are indisputable candidates for National Hero. He says they both played an essential role in Jamaica's independence by helping to create a national identity. Renowned storyteller and orator for the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, believes an Order of National Icon is redundant. She said Bob Marley and Miss Lou are already international icons and the criteria for National Hero should be known to help determine whether they need to be adjusted. The Order of National Hero may be conferred upon a Jamaican who has rendered to the country service of a most distinguished nature. 7 persons have so far been declared heroes. A new report has suggested that the more than 200 clients affected by a fraud at the Stocks and Securities Limited SSL should not have any great expectation of recovering their money. The details are contained in a 120-page report that trustee Cadian Campbell filed in the Supreme Court on October 15. Mr. Campbell is leading the court-supervised closure of the bankrupt firm, one of the oldest brokerage entities in Jamaica. The trustee said the value of SSL's losses is approximately $4 billion, covering over 200 clients. But he said the book value of the assets up to May was $770 million. Mr. Campbell said the realizable value of the assets is expected to range between $107 million and $254 million. But SSL's total liabilities were estimated at just over $1 billion up to May. Meanwhile, it is projected to cost $685 million to administer SSL's estate by 2025. The cost includes $500 million to cover the temporary management under the government from January 2023 to May this year. Mr. Campbell's team is projected to incur costs totaling $185 million up to May next year. The government has been ordered to pay approximately $472 million plus interest to Construction Developers Associates Limited over a dispute involving a school construction contract that dates back to 1998. The contract, originally valued at $49 million, was for building a junior high school in Anotta Bay, St. Mary. However, the Ministry of Education under the then P.J. Patterson administration terminated the contract in 2001 near its completion, sparking a legal battle. Justice David Batt ruled in favor of the contractor, saying the ministry had failed to honor the company's claim for final payment. Batt dismissed the government's arguments, including claims of late submission of final accounts and a project manager's death affecting payment. He upheld the contractor's entitlement to the payment plus compound interest at 10.24% per annum until the amount is paid. Justice Batt emphasized the importance of upholding the rule of law, stating that, quote, Jamaica and Jamaicans are subject to the rule of law, end quote, and that both the state and the citizens must honor contractual obligations. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification, and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, highlights from this year's National Honours and Awards ceremony. Dancehall stars Beanie Man and Bounty Killer were among 232 persons honoured.